Today we're taking a look at these NCAAF matches, which are happening on Thursday, September 1st, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips, and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes. Let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos. And if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 360 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting picks that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Going back to our video, we will give you 2 betting picks for each game, a team pick and a total pick based on facts and detailed explanation. So make sure to watch our videos till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Tennessee Volunteers versus Ball State Cardinals. Things don't look good for Ball State here. The Cardinals are 0-10 all-time against Power 5 programs, and their last game against a SEC foe was a 56-23 drubbing by Texas A&M back in 2015. Having a new quarterback playing on the road in front of a crowd of 100,000 plus people in Neyland Stadium is going to be daunting for Paddock. We saw Ball State have issues slowing opposing offenses last season as they gave up 243 yards per game through the air and 176.7 yards per game on the ground. Tennessee has plenty of returning experience, and with 4 starters back on the offensive line, they should be able to move the ball relatively at will. The Volunteers should take care of business here and win convincingly, covering what is a steep line to open the year. Our team pick is Tennessee Volunteers minus 33 points. Tennessee loves putting points on the board, especially at home. Last season, the Volunteers averaged 40 points per game in their 8 home contests. Tennessee should feel and go beyond that total against the Cardinals. Ball State averaged 28 points on the road last year, that included games away from home at Penn State and Wyoming. The game should have loads of scoring in it. Our total pick is over 68 points. West Virginia Mountaineers versus Pittsburgh Panthers. The Panthers and Mountaineers are set to do battle in the 105th rendition of the Backyard Brawl. Both teams will likely be rusty and make mistakes as they incorporate new offenses and new quarterbacks for the first time against anyone other than their own defenses. Both teams will have veteran offensive lines that should be able to minimize pre-snap mistakes, which is A+. The Panthers look like the better play in this game because of a defense that is much less thrown together than that of the Mountaineers. The Panthers have a dominant defensive front and have a veteran secondary that at least knows how to work together in real game situations. Both JT Daniels of WVU and Ken Slovis of Pitt will be working with new coordinators and new receivers. In the end, both teams will go through growing pains, but I like the Mountaineers' chances to keep this game close, with Daniels showing off his potent arm against the Panthers' suspect secondary and the Panthers going through some challenges as they shift from a pass-first offense to a more balanced attack. It will take time for the Panthers to kick it in gear, and giving away nearly a touchdown is too much in this matchup. Take the points plus 6.5 and go with the Mountaineers. Pittsburgh has a dominating pass rush and will put pressure on JT Daniels from the beginning, and the Panthers had 16 interceptions last season, with many ending sustained drives by opponents. The total has finished under in 4 of the last 5 played between West Virginia and Pittsburgh. The total has also finished under in 5 of the last 7 games that West Virginia played against the team from the ACC. Our total pick is under 54 points. Central Michigan Chippewas versus Oklahoma. Oklahoma State rung up 12 wins last season for the first time since 2011, and just the second time in school history for coach Mike Gundy. Fittingly, their season ended with a win in the Fiesta Bowl, the same way that 2011 campaign ended. The Cowboys reached the Big 12 championship game before falling just short against Baylor. Oklahoma State has to replace some key contributors from the offensive side of the ball, including their leading rusher and their number 1 receiver from a season ago. The Cowboys also have to replace defensive coordinator Jim Knowles, who took a job at Ohio State. Derek Mason, formerly the head coach at Vanderbilt, has to fill a pretty big pair of shoes. Both teams have firepower on the offensive side of the ball, so there could be plenty of fireworks here. Central Michigan, having Nichols 3 to lead the way in the run game along with their capable secondary options, can make them dangerous against teams. Oklahoma State's defense papered over some of the big issues that the offense had last season. Sanders has turned the ball over 40 times in 32 career starts, and that is something that could prove to be an issue for the Cowboys this season. Their defense isn't going to be as strong as it was a season ago. Oklahoma State, playing at home, should win this contest, but giving 3 touchdowns is a little too rich for my blood. If you're playing the stiff money line of minus 1,600 or so, then back Oklahoma State, but if you're going with a spread, take the points and the visiting Chippewas. Our team pick is Central Michigan Chippewas plus 21. The Chippewas won 9 games last season, but they didn't play a ranked opponent and went 1-2 in 3 games against Power 5 teams. With the team facing the 12th ranked team in the country, they will try to kick off their season with an upset, which will give them their first win over a ranked opponent since Jim McElwain took over as head coach. Central Michigan had the 4th best defense in the country last season, averaging 57.2 points per game. They threw for 265.4 yards and ran for 179.2 yards per game. Daniel Richardson led the team in passing, completing 60.4% of his passes for 2,633 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. Lou Nichols III led the team in rushing with 1,848 yards and 16 touchdowns, while Khalil Pimbleton led the team with 960 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns. The Cowboys tied a school record last season when they won 12 games and knocked off 5 top 25 teams. They fell short of winning the Big 12 title last season, but head coach Mike Gundy believes they have enough talent to compete for the conference title and make the college football playoffs this season. Oklahoma State averaged 31.1 points per game last season, which was 106th in the country. They threw for 231.9 yards and ran for 185.5 yards per game. Spencer Sanders completed 62.1% of his passes for 2,839 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. He also ran for 668 yards and 6 touchdowns. Jalen Warren led the team in rushing with 1,216 yards and 11 touchdowns, while Tay Martin led the team in receiving with 1,046 yards and 10 touchdowns. The Chippewas averaged 57.2 points per game last season, but they didn't score more than 24 points in 3 games against Power 5 teams last season. The Cowboys had one of the best defenses in the country last season, and they were great against the run, which is Central Michigan's strength. Even though they lost a lot of talented players, they reloaded in the offseason and will be up to the task of slowing down the Chippewas, who will be held under 25 points in this game. The Cowboys averaged 31.1 points per game last season. Even though it was mainly due to playing in a tough conference, they scored more than 35 points only 4 times. The Chippewas weren't great defensively last season, but they gave up more than 30 points in a game only 3 times. They aren't as good as they were last season, but they will still play well, so don't expect them to give up enough points for the Cowboys to push the score over the total. The Chippewas and Cowboys